Hello and welcome back. It is once again me, your favorite deputy of Movie Deputy Podcasts. We are up to the day. If you have not yet checked it out, be sure to check out the new episode of Upcoming Movies on our Upcoming Movies channel. That'll give you the full lowdown on all of the movies that are opening this weekend, both the independent films and the big name films and everything in between. But before I get too deep into any of that, of course, I want to focus on the movie review, which is why I'm here. Now, earlier this week, we did lose a major actor that people had strong feelings for one way or the other. We lost Paul Rubin, which maybe you might not recognize that name, but you'll recognize the name Pee Wee Herman. Now, he was a simple man on screen at least, but he was a complicated actor and unfortunately an undeniable deviant that just... It made it really hard to be entertained by his stuff, knowing things that he was about in his real life. But love him or hate him, he was an absolute goofball. He was entertaining to children for many years, which I'm really torn on because it's kind of a love-hate relationship. I was never a big fan of Pee Wee's Playhouse or any of the cartoons or the TV shows. There was no cartoon, I don't think. I'm trying to go off memory on that, so I apologize. But these movies, they brought a lot of joy to a lot of people of a lot of different ages. And so I did go ahead and review these, taking out the whole thing of his personal life, which I know is difficult to do, but just judging it just based on the movie. With Pee Wee's Big Adventure, it came out in 1985. I was 11 years old when this movie came out, and a lot of my friends were so excited to go see this. I was not one of them. I just thought it was just overly silly. So I actually did not even see this movie until I was a grown-up, so that's kind of sad. But then looking back, it's just nonsense, but it was funny nonsense. And I think the review that I wrote gave the story, or kind of maybe help people understand the story of what was going on if they'd never seen the movie. And that's what I want to share with you here now. This is a simple story about a bicycle and the man that loves it like no other. An eccentric man who works as a cook at a local diner by day and lives in a home full of eccentricities. This bike is one of the most unusual items. When it turns up missing, Pee Wee has one suspect in mind. When that doesn't pan out, he gets a lead that will take him on the adventure of a lifetime. Along the way, he'll make many new friends and have some unusual and even supernatural encounters, each one adding something a little extra to the story. Pee Wee refuses to give up the search, though, no matter what. Just when all hope seems lost, he ends up locating his missing bicycle in the most unlikely of places. This leg of the journey will not only lead him to his missing bicycle, but it will lead his life on an entirely different direction. An absolutely goofy story that is full of nonsense and tomfoolery. It is everything it promises to be and more, with the blatant wackiness, incessant stupidity, and loosely based sexual comedy. It seems to be a story aimed at young kids, but some of the subject matter definitely brings it more to something that leads to an older audience. Is it for you? Only you can decide. Just be prepared that it is everything it promises to be and more, good and bad. Now, I think that kind of sums it up. It's Pee Wee Herman. It's everything that he tried to be was just silly and goofy. And though the majority of it is aimed at like young kids, you've got talking furniture, talking house, you've got all this really weird stuff that's going on. But then they couldn't help themselves with kind of the adult jokes and stuff mixed in with this one too. And like I said, I'm torn on this. I found it somewhat entertaining, but I couldn't get it out of my head of who he really was in real life and the things that were going on with that. You're probably wondering the score I gave this one. I did give Pee Wee's Big Adventure just a 4.5 on the Movie Deputy scale. Personally, I probably would have been maybe in the 2s, but sticking to the Deputy scale, I gave it a 4.5. Now, you're probably wondering innocent or guilty. See, I really struggled with this one when I did this, and I actually did give this an innocent rating just because the vague attempt at the humor aimed at the older audience, it wasn't anything over the top, and just taking the movie for what it was and not putting any of the other stuff in it, it really is innocent. It's just a lot of fun, loving stuff. It's him approaching and working out things with a bully, and then how a lot of things kind of go through with his life, and just kind of that adventure that it takes him on. If you've ever been a fan of Pee Wee Herman and you haven't seen this one yet, you might want to check it out. If you've ever been curious, you might want to check it out. But if not, honestly, you're not missing much. I hate to say that, but it's true. And like I said, I promised it was going to be a week of adventures, and I can guarantee you weren't expecting a Pee Wee Herman movie this week. Or who knows, maybe you were with Paul Rubens' death, so who knows. But either way, it's going to be fun. Like I said, be sure to check out the Upcoming Movies channel for the new episode that went live. I'm excited to see and hear the feedback on that one. But until then, and until this weekend, when you get all out of the new ones that are coming up, I will leave you with that, and I hope you have a great day. Bye-bye.